Hi, and welcome to Mrs. Gelaro's art room. Today we're going to make bees. Not the kind of bees that some people are allergic to. We're going to make these little cartoony looking bees. As you can see, I have 5 bees here, and these bees are little round bees that look like their wings wouldn't actually be able to hold them up, but they're super fun to make. It's nice if you make an odd number of bees. So if you'd like to make larger bees, maybe make 3. If you'd like to make smaller bees, maybe make 7. But an odd number always, to me, looks nice in art. So let's get started. For this project, you are going to need a piece of white paper, and I used pencil, crayons, paint, and a permanent marker. If you don't have all those supplies, just use whatever you have. But this project is easiest if we start with pencil. So I'm going to start drawing the bees. For your bees, it's fun if you draw them going in different directions. So it looks like some are facing in, some are facing out. I'm going to try to draw hard enough that you can see what I'm drawing. And I like to make these sort of a medium size. I got the idea for this project from an illustration I saw. It had similar little bees like that. So after you've drawn your oval shapes kind of going every which way, then you can go ahead and draw your wings. You can make your wings how you want to, but I like kind of these little cartoony looking wings. As I said, they kind of look too small to hold these bees up, don't they? Now, all my bees look like little apples with 2 leaves at the top, don't they? That's kind of fun. So we have some extra space around here, and for my next step, I'm going to add some plants. And you can add whatever kind of plants you want to, but I'm just adding some stems with leaves. And the leaves that I'm adding repeat the pattern of the bee's wings. So you know how sometimes in art it looks nice if you repeat patterns. They're sort of a similar shape, aren't they? So I'm looking at my paper here and I'm seeing, is there another space that looks like it could use a little something? So I'm putting plants in the negative spaces. And then I'm going to fill up this area with little circles. You don't have to. These are all choices that you can make as an artist. But on this one, I made the little circles later into flowers. Or the little circles could just be pollen flying around that came off of the bees' legs while they were pollinating. After you've done this, you're finished with the pencil part. Oh yeah, not quite yet. We need to do the stripe. So I want this bee to be facing up that way, kind of like the pink bee. So I'm going to curve my stripes that way. And on each one, I just made 3 stripes. So depending on the size of your bee, you'll have to make a decision how many. Once you go over these with crayon, your lines for your curved lines for your stripes get a lot wider. And these stripes give the bees their signature round shape, right? Now they look like they're round. And I also want to go ahead and draw 2, not too small, of circles for my bee's eyes. And remember, your bees might be flying in different directions than these, so you just make a choice over where you want the eyes to be. Now I'm finished with my pencil part. So the next thing I'm going to do is get a white crayon, and you know this trick where when we paint later, every place that you color in white, the white crayon will resist the paint and it will stay white. But on this particular project, I think it's very effective because bee wings aren't opaque. They're somewhat transparent. And when you paint over them later with paint, it on top of the white, it kind of makes them have a transparent quality. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to color in all of your wings pretty dark with your white crayon. Now, I'm not going to do all of these on this one because I want you to have the fun of doing your own. You don't need to watch me do all of them. And depending on what you want, if you made dots, you can color them in any color. I happen to really love this color, goldenrod, and I was very sorry to see that the Crayola company had retired that color a few years ago. So I could have one of the last goldenrod crayons that there are. I happen to have thought it was a super useful color, and I use it all the time. But I'm not going to save it. I'm going to keep using it because that's what art supplies are for. They are not to be saved, in my opinion. They are to be used. So you're going to go ahead and put your stripes on all your bees. So you've colored in all of your wings, you color in all of your stripes, and then you're going to go ahead and color in your plants. Now for my plants, I happen to have this really light yellow green, and I wanted to use that so it would show up when I painted over it with the blue. In fact, I put 2 colors of green on my plants just to add a little bit of interest. You can do yours how you want to. Okay, so let's say that you've finished all of your plants and all of your dots and all of your wings. Oh, there's one more step I forgot before we're ready to put away our crayons. So on your eyes, you're also going to want to color them in white, and then go ahead and put a black dot with your black crayon in the middle of the white. It would help if I had a pointier black crayon. Maybe you do, right? I hope so. Okay, do that on all of them, and you can pause the video right now to give yourself a chance to catch up if you would like to. Once you have that all finished, then you are ready to paint. So I'm going to get out my watercolors, and I'm going to choose a paintbrush or 2 or 3 that I think will work well for this project. Okay, you can see on this one that I didn't make all of my bees traditional colors. So it's really up to you what you'd like to do. But I would like to make at least some of my bees yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and get my yellow paint ready. And we'll start by painting a bee or 2. Maybe I'll make this one yellow. And I'm going to paint right over. And it's okay if you go outside the lines. This isn't that a kind of a project where that really matters. Okay. And maybe another yellow bee. But I don't know if I want it right next to the first yellow bee. Okay. And I just go right over those lines. Now, for some of my bees, I maybe want to mix a color. So here's a little tip about mixing colors, is you want to do it in the lid of your paints if you have this type of watercolor paint. So I'm going to mix a little orange and a little yellow. And also another tip about mixing colors is make sure you mix enough. Because it's not really fun to run out of the color that you mixed. Okay, I don't want to do a blue bee because I'm going to have a blue background. But maybe I'll do like a little, like sort of a peach bee. See how that looks. Remember, just have fun. This is a fun little project. Yeah, I like that bee. And then to make one sort of an unusual color, maybe I'll mix, how about a lavender bee? That looks pretty pink. So I'll add a little blue. I don't know. We'll try it. We'll see how it looks. Oh, it looks kind of cool. So you have fun thinking about how you want to paint your bees. Go ahead and paint those guys and then pause the video if you need to. Okay, once you have all your bees painted, the next step is going to be to paint your background. You can see my background is blue. You can make your background a different color if you choose to, but I do like the blue background. So this is what I want to show you. When you're doing the background and you go around the bees, leave a little bit of white right around the bees. Then the rest of it can just go right off your page here. And you can go right over those wings. Okay? Just keep going. Leave a little white around your bees. Until you have the whole background painted in blue. Okay, once you get the background painted in, just like that, you can go right over your plants. Once you get your background all painted in, you can decide if you want to leave your dots, if you made those, and just have them be little flying pollen around your bees, or if you want to make them into flowers. But before you can go on, oops, I'm getting a little close to my bees. I'm trying to go fast because you're watching a video, but you can take your time. Once you are finished painting the background, before you can go on, you have to let it dry. So you'll put this somewhere where it will dry. And for the last step, you're going to need to use a marker, like a skinny marker. I used black. You can use a different color if you want to, but I think black turns out nice. Okay, this gets to set aside to dry. And I'll show you what I did next. Once it's dry, you are going to want to outline a little bit. So I outlined, as you can see, the wings a little bit. I outlined the bee. I outlined the eyes. I gave them each an expression on their face. I gave them a stinger. And I gave them legs. So when you do the legs, I kind of want you to see this. they have 6 legs because they're insects. So 3 would be on this side and 3 would kind of look like they're coming from the other side. And then I turned the little dots into flowers, which is a choice I made. But I also chose not to outline the plants. And the reason is that pens, or like the marker that I'm talking about, don't do well with wax. So when you outline, see how I outlined the wings and I didn't outline close to the crayon? If you get a lot of wax in your pen, you're going to ruin your pen. And then the pen's always going to bug you. And I thought it would be a little bit hard to outline the leaves and not get any wax on them. Oops, I'm noticing that I forgot to outline this right here. So let me do that now. And see how I have avoided the wax? I just stay away from it with my pen because I really like my pen and I want it to keep working. Okay, have fun. I can't wait to see your bees if I get to see them. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.